Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of AlteredConfusion Thursday Night Hangout.
How do we know for sure it's really Thursday and not some alternative universe where it's actually Monday?
Because even though we're in upside down La La Land, if it was not Thursday, we would not be doing the show.
But that's my point, is how do we actually know it's Thursday and not we're mistaken with our identity? And maybe you tricked me.
No, sir, because damn it, we know. We know.
Okay.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. This is a weekly live show for you. We take your comments, topics, and questions and try our best to cover them with you during this week's show. If you didn't get a chance to submit your topic, question, etc., have no fear. You can drop them in the chat and we will add it to our show. If we do, unfortunately, run out of time, those topics/questions will be added to next week's show.
Next week's show, indeed.
Next week's show. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me get this right off the bat. If you are of age and you have not yet, go vote. Zealeus, have you voted?
I have not yet.
I have. I think you've got to be, 18? When can you vote? I don't even know anymore.
It's 18.
I'm too old. All I know is that I can vote, and I went. It took me just under 2 hours, but I went.
Very nice. You are a man among men.
Well, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are curious as to if you are registered to vote or not, just go to vote.org and you can find out. It is very important that you, my friends, go vote for whatever you want to vote for. Just, a voice of the people, that kind of thing,
Or for Georgia, you could always go to the official location. Because as a friend with my parents, if you go Google, early voting, you may get on a certain affiliated website that basically tells all people of a certain other affiliation that you are not allowed to early vote.
Fantastic. Well, with all that craziness, let's jump into our show, shall we?
Indeed, sir.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as you may have noticed, or I hope you noticed, the past 2 days were the Amazon Prime days.
Amazon Prime.
So I do have to ask, I'm obligated to ask, if anyone out there remembered that it was Amazon Prime the past 2 days. And if so, did you get something awesome?
I did not know until my web traffic was blowing up with Amazon Prime everywhere. I did actually end up buying, so I got a new MacBook for school.
Sweet.
And the dilemma is everything is all USB-C on it, which is,
not so
to be
sweet.
fair, the future of stuff. Including your Nintendo Switch. But I'm like, I need to get extra USB-C cables because I'm going between both campuses, 2 different campuses. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to give in and finally get some newfangled chargers for my MacBook.
There you go.
But the best part is the first set I got did not work. So you still run in, even though it should be one standard protocol, etc. That's not always the case.
No, it's not. So I got some family Christmas gifts done, as well as they were running a really sweet deal on getting a Ring doorbell.
Oh, nice.
Super duper cheap. And if you were a Prime member, you get a free one of those Echo Dots thrown in. So
yeah.
The doorbell came today, and so I just have to install it.
Did you get the battery-powered one? Or the actual
I think it's the actual hardwired one, because our bell is already wired, so...
So you'll just place that one. Very nice. Very nice.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I've got a question for everyone out there. Do you remember a company called GameFly that sent you copies of games in disc format to your mailbox?
Heck yeah, I do. It was like Netflix, but disc-based. I mean, it was kind of a cool idea at the time.
See, you're thinking that it's gone.
Wait,
it's not. GameFly still exists, ladies and gentlemen, and it just was bought out by a company called Alliance Entertainment. Now, the streaming portion of GameFly was bought by EA back in 2018, but apparently GameFly, the actual physical disc mailing service, still is alive and well. I did not know that.
I was not aware either.
So of course, they didn't disclose how much money the deal was, but I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't foresee it being a shit ton of money because, as it's obvious between myself and Zealeus, and probably a bunch of you out there as well, we didn't even know that GameFly was still a thing.
I mean, I guess I could see, like, if you're a console-based gamer where you could still buy disc and stuff, I could understand that at least. I mean, it's not totally illogical. I mean, we grew up going to, Blockbuster and getting a game to hopefully beat in a weekend. So I can understand that. But I'm still surprised.
Because of the what you were just talking about, going to Blockbuster to rent a game to beat it over the weekend. Way back in the day, original PlayStation day, me and a buddy went to our local Blockbuster and rented a game called Beyond the Beyond, which was like universally panned by critics, but we loved it. And then, of course, we had to return it, and it took me a while, but I found a disc copy, and I own that damn copy, but I, of course, haven't played it in forever. It was an RPG game, so.
So Beyond the Beyond, what was it actually?
Beyond the Beyond.
What was the Beyond? What was the
Hell
Beyond?
if I know at this point. It's probably been 20 years since I played it.
Oh, well, that's kind of disappointing.
Yes, I know.
That was a major letdown, man.
I'm sorry. But speaking of games, as some of you know, Zealeus and I have been gaming for a while.
Eons.
And there were some games, some heavy-duty games out there that required basically an entire folder full of discs that you had to switch out so you could play this PC game.
Ah, yes.
Baldur's Gate. So hopefully you guys know this. Baldur's Gate 3 is the early access version is out right now. So you can start playing your Baldur's Gate 3. So here is the question that I pose to you, Zealeus, and of course the rest of the audience. With the early access version of Baldur's Gate 3 out, of course, as soon as a big game like this comes out, you have those individuals who try to beat it as fast as possible.
Yep.
For people who don't know what that means, what they try to do is do a speed run, where of course you're trying to sprint through the game to see how fast you can do it. I believe it was Skyrim. Skyrim. No, it's Skyrim. Good Lord. Elder Scrolls Skyrim, that someone was able to do a speed run for, I think it was like 16 minutes, and beat the entire game. For Baldur's Gate 3, the speed run for the early access version is 7 minutes. So my question to you, ladies and gentlemen, is when you see that statistic of this of people people accomplishing a speed run,
yep,
and it being like an astronomically low number, does that affect your desire to play the game?
Not particularly, because I assumed that the people who are speedrun the game are doing some kind of crazy way of doing it, basically. And they're probably going to take shortcuts. They're not going to play any side quests.
Oh, God, no.
And all that stuff. So not really. And they're also going to play it in a game that's probably not relevant to 99% of the gamers.
Well, you're right. I think the problem is especially when you have, it's hacks. Thank you, Ryan. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to point out that the Ryan Moore, who is currently in our chat room, is the one and same Ryan Moore that I talk about every single week. He is the owner of Hero Chiropractic. Now, this bugs me to death when you see these open world games that have where people, yes, okay. So I like and I don't like about speedruns. When it's an open world game, what you're basically giving to an individual is the ability to become part of that world for as long as you want to. Some people spend hundreds and hundreds of hours in an open world game. And of course, you have these people who do speedruns. The thing is, I guess for me personally, when I think open world game, I'm not trying to see how fast someone could beat the game. I want to see what an average time is for the game. You know, Like,
I guess I don't even care so much about the timing of the like how long a game takes is not really a good barometer for my wanting to play the game. I'm just more interested what is the overall gameplay experience in general.
true.
Especially if I'm not buying games at full price anyways, although the Switch kind of throws that out the door sometimes.
Well, they've
But
actually they've been having a couple more sales than they have. Okay,
I did actually buy Zelda Breath of the Wild for $45 finally.
attaboy. No,
It was on sale.
so the Switch, the Switch sales are really confusing to me. And why I say that is the vast majority of the games that are discounted when you look at the Nintendo
Oh gosh.
e-store or shop are the games that are always freaking discounted. So why? I mean,
You mean like the MSRP $20? It's on sale for 4 cents today.
No, okay. So that's the thing, though. Like, are we basically? I understand in our society when you instead of saying $5, you say $4.99. People are like, "Holy shit, that's amazing! $4.99. Oh my gosh, that's so much cheaper than $5. Of course, it's only 1 cent, but for some reason we have this for 99 cents. You put 99 cents at the end, and it makes it so much better, right?
Yeah, it's a mental thing.
So is it the same type of concept when you're looking at Steam sales and basically any digital distribution platform where you see that percentage off? Even if it's a constant percentage, even if it is 75% off every single time, it's never changed from 75% off since like a week after the game was released. Does that make you feel like, oh man, this game is really discounted right now. I got to get on it now.
No, it definitely is a psychological thing where people will purchase goods that they think are on sale. I mean, look at Kohl's, where everything is on sale all the time, perpetually. I don't think you could buy something at regular price at Kohl's. And so it's definitely a thing with these stores. I mean, I'm thinking of brick and mortar in this case, where they try to always have a discount.
Wait, places that you actually have to go to?
Well, supposedly these still exist. I'm not actually sure.
Especially in this pandemic, who the hell knows what's really out there?
Actually, the only reason I go to Kohl's is to make Amazon returns.
Oh, there you go.
But same
I just
thing
go
with
to the
digital.
Amazon store.
What's that?
I said I used to just go to the Amazon store because it's literally down the street from my office, but I haven't been to my office since March.
Does it still exist? Have they like sold it off by now?
No. So for those out there who don't know, I work for a higher institution.
What about a lower institution?
What is that like? Is that like pre-K? Is that what that is? I'm not exactly sure. Like it's always like, oh yeah, it's a higher education institution. Like, what is a lower?
What about the medium education?
Is that middle school? I think that is.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, I work downtown, and my main focus is on accessibility and compliance when it comes to the Americans Against Disabilities Act. Make sure that anyone and everyone who has a disability is able to access anything and everything, especially when it comes to applications and websites and stuff like that. So I work downtown in Atlanta, and there was an Amazon store right there, but I have not been there. And the new news is that the floor that I was working on is no longer going to be owned by the Institute because they're downsizing, because that building is an open air collaborative workspace, which of course is the worst thing to have during the pandemic.
Yep.
So they're going to what's called a hoteling type of system, where you kind of, just like a hotel room, you rent it for however long, and then you return it, and then someone else gets to use it. So, but anyways, my floor is getting knocked out of the equation. However, I did reach out in a slight panic, going, but I still got stuff at my desk, and like, oh well, that's for the future. We haven't actually done that yet. And I'm like, good. So yeah.
Are you even like, could you go in if you wanted to?
Not right now.
Oh.
One, because I haven't filled out the necessary paperwork and gotten the necessary checks. But no, not right now.
Gotcha.
All right. Now, speaking of things to do while you're at home, some of you out there.
I was going to one other thing about speed roaming.
Yes, sir.
Is I also think a exceedingly tiny proportion of the actual gaming population probably even knows speedrunning is a thing.
True.
Like it's a very niche thing where they would even know that, oh my gosh, you can speed run Skyrim in an hour. That's a
16
very small,
minutes.
very few people are going to even know that in the first place.
But
So
I
you're
know it, damn
talking
it.
the overall gaming population, teeny tiny percentage of that, and I would reckon of that teeny tiny percentage, the ones who probably care, the ones who are probably already interested in the game anyways to start with.
Well, to be honest with you, the people who probably actually give a shit about the speed running are probably part of a speed running community.
And if somebody really is not going to buy a game because you can speed run the game in 16 minutes, I'm going to guess that's probably the gamer you're just never going to make happy.
I know that when Skyrim came out, there was like a pushback for some, I guess I don't want to say more casual gamers, but there were a bunch of gamers out there going, whoa, I'm not paying $60 if you could beat the game in 16 minutes. And of course, our response through this entire show shows you that you're not, I mean, no one, unless you're trying to beat it as fast as possible, no one's going to beat the game in 16 minutes.
Yeah.
There is so much content in an open world game. Side quest, little hidden Easter eggs, all that stuff. You're going to get your money's worth when it comes to an open world game, as long as the mechanics are sound.
Yeah. No, that's just silly.
So now back to pandemic times. Some of you out there are probably already on the VR bandwagon, but there is some new news, and that is, actually real quick, Ryan says, I have a friend that constantly speed runs the Resident Evil 1 HD remake and is in the top 20 in the country or something.
Huh.
That's true. I mean, you can make a sport out of anything if you really want to. And of course, there's going to be, I mean, I guess it's kind of like, in a way, it's the new high score thing. Like a lot of the games, you don't get like a point total at the end. So now it's how fast can you beat this game, or you throw a little bit of a curveball. How fast can you beat the game at 100% completion? Because now it's insane. Anyways, so back to VR. VR, for those out there who don't know virtual reality, there are quite a few different headsets out there. There is the Facebook Oculus. And then there's like a couple different flavors of Oculus. Then there's, of course, the HTC Vive, which I think that's the one that Steam has partnered with. And then Sony's got something out there. But first of all, the only way that AlteredConfusion is going to get a headset is if someone was to send it to AlteredConfusion, because AlteredConfusion does not have that much money. But it's just announced the Facebook Oculus Quest 2 VR headset is now out for $299. It is both a standalone device or could be a peripheral to run experiences that demand a powerful PC. The new headset has fast switching LCDs with a resolution of 1832 by 1920. It is 50% more pixels than before. While it is limited to 72 hertz refresh rate now, the 90 hertz support is coming in an upcoming software update.
There is one big gotcha that are driving people away from the Oculus, though.
With the Oculus, you have to have you have to have a valid Facebook account. So it's going to be tied to your Facebook account.
Yep, that's correct. And the funny thing is so like schools actually like to use VR. It's very useful. So like right now we can't travel anywhere. So they have a school using VR to, like, for instance, visit Washington, D.C. or wherever you want to go is not an uncommon thing.
The Louvre.
I wouldn't say it's common.
No, they're doing a lot of. I mean, they're doing a lot of field trips, especially to like international locations, like the Louvre in Paris. Mm-hmm.
So the question is according to regulations, you're not supposed to be basically using a social media account at school. So by requiring to have a Facebook account to log in to the Oculus Quest 2, can you actually use that in school? And some schools might be no, because there's absolutely no Facebook allowed at school.
Couldn't you just register that like a bunch of headsets to your Facebook school page?
Yes, but then the question is that student, because via using the Oculus, now also using Facebook concurrently at the same time? I know I'm being pedant here, but that's very purposeful because in a way that student is now actually using Facebook to utilize a resource.
Yes, but it's just the login. I mean,
they're still accessing Facebook as a student when they're under the age of 18 without the approval of parents. That is the issue. It actually is a legal issue.
Ryan says, are people freaking out about it due to the idea of invasion of privacy? I know a lot of people think that's part of it, more and more tracking, etc. Well, of course, Big Brother is already here. It's been here forever. No, but when it comes to utilizing a VR account that has a social media component to it, my question is it one of those like one-time authentication things? I don't think you actually have to. I don't think that because you have an Oculus whatever Quest 2 that you can now browse Facebook or something like that. You're utilizing, it's like logging into any of your websites through your Facebook login or your Gmail login or whatever. You know, it's one login to rule them all, except it's a required one. But you know, you got to log in to utilize the equipment. So I don't. But then again, I am not the IT director or associate director or IT manager of a school. So, and I'm sure that there's probably some different rule sets for public versus private. So,
well, the other issue too that we found is like if as a school you use and this isn't just Oculus, this is any of the headsets in general, they're not really made for schools insofar as you can't really lock them down. So my worry would actually be if you log into this Oculus Rift with a Facebook account, or Oculus Quest in this case, at least on what we've seen on our end, there's not really a way for me as the teacher then to lock down that VR device to prevent that student to actually go and downloading apps. I mean, I know you can lock down the account technically to not be able to download NC-17 stuff, but as far as locking down that device to prevent the student from browsing and doing things,
okay,
most of them don't actually have that feature built into it.
Are you approaching it from a virtual learning standpoint? Or
I'm approaching it from the school standpoint, right? Now, yes.
But why would you allow someone to utilize the Oculus Rift outside of the exact intended things? Like if you're going to art class, everyone has an Oculus Rift and they're going to look at the Louvre or
here's the
Smithsonian.
Well, okay. That's a good question. So here's the second problem with that. Mm-hmm. As a teacher, I don't actually know what my student's seeing.
Wouldn't you be able to lock down to just the website that accesses that?
That is the issue with these devices, is you can't lock down the devices.
But but if you're utilizing through a web browser, you could dictate what website they can hit.
The problem, so like if you start trying to do that, it gets super, super tricky. So like,
are you saying that you're not up to the challenge, Zealeus? Are you saying that you're not smart enough to do this?
I'm spend my time trying to lock down an Oculus Quest because they're requiring Facebook accounts. Because, yes.
Just spoof it.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. But that's not just the Oculus. That's in general.
Oh, right.
The idea of locking down VR is not really much of a thing right now. And so that's actually been an issue with students using it. You're not always actually aware of what the student's doing because they could easily swipe to another app and you wouldn't know it.
But once again, never mind. We're getting into semantics here. Like, anyways, let us move on. Let us talk about something that I'm sure is not going to piss anyone off.
I can try.
After we quickly discussed this last week, it was the Monster Hunter movie teaser trailer, and now of course there is a more full scale trailer out there. And after watching it, I have one question, and it's a question that I continue to ask myself when I see the vast majority of video games. Yes, the only one question. Maybe more, but this is the most important one for me personally, and that is when Hollywood gets a hold of a video game IP, is it just too much to ask to actually do fan service or to literally just bastardize the shit out of an IP where all the crap that's happening is not part of the canon, and you just throw random shit in there because you think that it would be more appealing to the general masses.
I think you just answered your own question.
It's stupid. Like, look, in Monster Hunter, this is the trailer, so you can watch it for yourself. I'm not giving away anything in the movie. Yep. What is it with having freaking military people interacting with shit that shouldn't be there? That's Transformers. Now apparently that's Monster Hunter. There you've got a bunch of military people who find these old stones that get struck by lightning and you get warped into a different world. Monster Hunter, which is, all about, going hand to hand with some of the big old nasties. And of course, you've got an all-terrain vehicle with a Gatling gun on the back, and then somehow there's an airplane that just shows up, and you got sniper rifles or something. What the? We've got to get back, and we got to close this portal. Huh? That's not Monster Hunter. It's like the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Well, the one conundrum is Monster Hunter doesn't really have a story to it. There's not really much of a. There's quests to go kill monsters.
Exactly. You create a world.
Yep.
Where every single fucking game, all you got to do is create.
You seem very pissed off.
In all these freaking games, you have a gaming universe. Okay, all you got to do is do like a mini story about a specific character in there, beating up like whatever the end game is supposed to be. Ta-da! That's it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and bring in shit that has nothing to do with the IP. It'd be
have you met Hollywood before?
No, God, oh Jesus, this pisses me off to no end. I mean, the way, look, if you want movies that if you want an example of a movie that stays almost perfect to the IP, and of course gets a little Hollywood corniness in there as well. Look at the original Mortal Kombat movie. It's a fighting game. That movie, what's the movie about? Fighting.
Yes, which is greatly enjoyable, and that's one of the reasons why. That's actually where I really like the anime Dragon's Dogma, is because it actually kind of sticks to the anime. Like, there's scenes in there like, oh, this is straight out of the video game, which I thought was pretty cool. The first Resident Evil actually did a decent job, I thought, of sticking to it. Went kind of off the rails eventually, but you know, whatever.
See, I've had this issue with Hollywood, and it really blew out of control when the Transformer movies. Michael Bay's boom boom explosions, lots of military people with a couple robots, and they call it Transformers started happening, and then the more I think about it, the more I look at all of these amazing universes and storylines and all this stuff, and the U.S. basically just pisses on it and going, no one's going to ever understand that. It's very rare to see stuff stay true to the source material, and I don't understand. The thing I really don't understand is when you Americanize a foreign film. Like, if the movie is amazing internationally, why the fuck are you having to make it special for us dumb Americans? Are we not sophisticated enough to enjoy the full, experience of this movie? Do we have to, get the short bus version?
It's the least common denominator.
Us?
Yes.
It's so, I mean, as you can see, I'm full of rage when it comes to individuals, especially Hollywood, utilizing or grabbing on a hold of an existing IP and then basically shitting on it and then twisting it. And then it's literally the only reason that that it's supposed to do something with this other IP is that the name is in the title.
Such anger.
Yes, I do. I hate it. I really do. If you want to make a Monster Hunter movie then make it about Monster Hunter, not about these. That's the other thing. Why always the American military coming into like an alternate universe to save everyone?
Because that is the basis of how we start. I mean, because then you don't have to give a real origin story. They already know how to fight. So you've eliminated like half of a reluctant hero story because you don't have to like level up the character in game.
Oh my God, you do a quick flashback about a kid who was training by his grandfather or his uncle or something. The uncle or grandfather tragically dies, and then this guy jumps into the sensei's shoes, and there you go.
I don't know what to tell you then.
I just solved the freaking problem. Anyways.
Maybe you're creating a problem by trying to overcomplicate quality cinema.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths.
You can do it. I have faith in you.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, so that I can have a little bit of a breath of fresh air, we're going to do a quick shout out to all of the friends of the show. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get to it. The first one, of course, is the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. As I've stated several times before, Ron Jones is the mastermind behind the Indie Cluster. He is amazing. Zealeus and I, of course, have seen the Indie Cluster booth at several of our different conventions that we've attended. And if you're interested, if you are an independent developer and you want to jump in on this, because they can definitely help you with the booth cost. For those out there who don't know, booths cost a shit ton of money when you go to a convention, especially the bigger conventions. So if you're an independent developer, you might want to check out the Indie Cluster. All right, so the next one is, ladies and gentlemen, Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. And I don't know if he's still there, but my actual chiropractor, Ryan Moore, who runs Hero Chiropractic, was in the audience. And of course, he adjusted myself and my son. And it's been beneficial for both of us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the next shout-out, and that, of course, has to be Nerdburger Games. Nerdburger Games is the game design imprint of award-winning RPG designer Craig Campbell. Craig has done a whole bunch of RPG design freelancing in the past. Several years ago, he dove into designing his own RPG. Now, Nerdburger Games has multiple RPGs and is showing no signs of stopping. Nerdburger Games endeavors to create games that explore corners of the RPG landscape that haven't been explored, or haven't been explored very often. These games forgo dense gaming mechanics in favor of lighter rule sets that allow players to focus on telling fun, engaging, memorable stories. And of course, as we have stated many times before, Nerdburger Games is responsible for games such as Capers, Die Laughing, Mergers and Acquisitions, and of course, Good Strong Hands. Zealeus, what is the total for Good Strong Hands right now?
Right now, the total is at $11,296 from 258 backers, and that's an original pledge of only needing $3,000.
Yeah, buddy.
I would say it's met its goal quite well.
And
right now, it is only, wait, I need to do some math here.
Uh-oh.
It is only $704 away from the $12,000 goal of getting two folk playbooks.
Sweet.
Well, they'll add animates and paragons.
Nice. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, of course, we have to do one more shout out. And this, of course, is to our wonderful stopping ground. Ladies and gentlemen, Battle and Brew. Battle and Brew is Atlanta's first and oldest gaming bar and restaurant. Opened in 2005, Battle and Brew had a very modest menu, a few beer taps, and focused heavily on gaming. Now they have grown to encompass so much more. They pioneered geek trivia in Atlanta and remain the hardest trivia in town. They have upgraded the menu from only a few items to all your bar favorites, and some soon-to-be favorites. They've expanded the gaming and kept everything top of the line. They've taken a good place and made it a great place. A place where the staff listens to your desires and suggestions. A place where you and your friends feel like you're at home. A place where everyone knows your game. And seriously, if you do not believe me about the hardest trivia in town, then by all means, go to the next trivia night and then get yourself a huge box of tissues because you're probably going to be crying your eyes out when you think that, oh, I know this topic. And then they basically kick you in the metaphorical nuts because you don't know it as well as you think you do.
You don't know Jack.
I love that game.
It's a classic.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, since we've gone that part, let's do some shout-outs to what Altered Confusion is doing. Altered Confusion, of course, first off, is once again... we are proud to say that we are fundraising for Extra Life for the 9th straight year. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, gaming to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. For Altered Confusion, for 9 years running, our Children's Miracle Network Hospital is Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to our chosen hospital as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the children they treat. And as I stated many times, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta has seen me quite a few times when I was growing up, and also all of my siblings and now my children. So I will support them and help them as much as I can.
There you go.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, speaking of Altered Confusion things, Altered Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you. And so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans/supporters, become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work, and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 different platforms, or I guess levels. They are at the $1 and the $5 a month tier. Of course, if you want to go above that, you can. But if you do go above $5 a month, please reach out to me. I want to give you something special because I want you to get your money's worth. And then finally, if you cannot commit to a subscription, a $1, $5 subscription each month, but you want to do a financial donation, all you got to do is go to www.alteredconfusion.com. There on the left-hand toolbar is a Donate Now button, or if you're watching this live on Twitch, go to, there is a toolbar below our show that has a Donate Now button, and that, of course, will go to Altered Confusion as well. If you do not have the ability to give us a financial donation, but you want to help us out, the best way to help us out, and if you are donating money, of course, help do this on top of donating money, and that is share. If we do something awesome, share it, retweet, favorite it, subscribe, follow, of course, attend all of our Thursday night hangouts, and of course, become more of the discussion. Altered Confusion's Thursday night hangouts are really, really, really for you. We love having conversations with individuals that may or may not share our view. I mean, this is what we do during the convention season. Unfortunately, we have not been able to do any conventions, so I'm basically leaning very heavily on the Altered Confusion Thursday night hangout so that we can have these discussions that we usually have during a convention. Now, of course, if you want to send something physical to Altered Confusion, say a Funko Pop, or because that apparently is the thing to do, or if you want to send us, maybe you have a company and you'd like for us to show off some stuff, what you could do is you could send it to Altered Confusion at 1551 Dunwoody Village Parkway. That's DUNWOODY Village Parkway. And the next part is super duper important. Number 88276. Why is that number 88276 so important? That is the actual P.O. Box number. If you refrain from adding that number to the address, it will go to the post office proper, and it will be sent back to you within, I think it's like 3 to 5 business days. The city, of course, is Dunwoody. Once again, DUNWOODY, Georgia, zip code 30338. And as I've stated before, if you have sent us something and you're like, well, what the shit? Charlie, you're supposed to, get on this. We've sent you stuff, but you haven't shown it off. The reason is because this wonderful pandemic, you have to turn in your package card to the actual post office clerk. And there's always only one person working the damn counter, where there's 5 places that could support male workers. So a package could take anywhere from picking up from anywhere between 30 minutes and 2.5 hours. So unfortunately, I just have not had the freedom to actually stand in line and get the amazing stuff that I'm sure that you've been sending us to our post box. So anywho, I know that some of you out there may recall that Zealeus, and especially myself, and then of course some of our friends and fans of the show, played once upon a time SMITE. SMITE, of course, is Hi-Rez Studios, which now Hi-Rez has been split into several different studios. So I believe it's Titan Game Studio. I believe that's their specific new name. But SMITE, of course, is a MOBA that utilizes gods from different pantheons. Of course, you got your Greek, you have your Roman, you have your Celtic, you have your Arthonian, whatever. Now, of course, as of late, what you've been seeing is you've been seeing a lot of crossovers, like nostalgic crossovers. Of course, with the, I guess, like the reemergence of Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix, SMITE, of course, had they had skins for 3 of the characters. Aang, the Airbender, who's also the Avatar. Zuko, which was the fire prince, and then Korra, which technically is not Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's actually the follow-up series. But anyways, those skins, of course, are applied to existing characters within SMITE. Aang was Merlin. Zuko was Susanoo, which is kind of weird because Susanoo is, I'm pretty sure that Susanoo is water, yet you have Zuko as fire. And then Korra is Scotty. Korra and Scotty make total sense because Korra is supposed to be ice, or is water, and of course Scotty is ice as well. But the big news that came out recently is that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is now going to be in SMITE. Not the the skins. You're not gaining like Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo. You're getting skins for existing gods and heroes. But the skins of the Ninja Turtles. So you have Donatello as Sun Wukong, which is a god. I think it's a Chinese pantheon, who basically has a huge ass staff. No, what's the? Is it a bow? B-O?
Yeah, it was a bow.
Yeah, I know there was a better term than staff.
The staff is the catch-all.
Yeah. Exactly. So Donatello is Sun Wukong. Raphael is the skin for Loki, which I think is amazing. That just screams Raphael and Loki. I like it. But here are the 2 that I don't understand. You have Osiris, who of course he's god of the dead, I think, and that's gonna be Leonardo. But Osiris doesn't have a sword. Osiris has got the scythes, I guess, which are technically, it's like scythe blades, but still just, I don't know. I don't see it. And then Michelangelo is a skin for Mercury, which really confuses the shit out of me because Mercury is all about running around and speed. It's not really nunchuck slinging.
I could not begin to tell you. I mean, I thing is, I haven't played Smite in such a long time, where I don't know what any of the characters do in the game anymore.
Well, I mean, I could tell you, I haven't played. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't played Smite in forever as well, and I was looking down with trying to figure out which skin goes to which god. I found out that there's a shit ton of gods out there, or heroes or goddesses, superior beings out there that I was like, oh shit, that's in the game now. Like, I didn't know Merlin and King Arthur and all those guys were in there now.
Knew they were in there. I don't know anything about them, but I've heard of them being in there at least.
Yeah. So
apparently, one of them's overpowered too.
There's always OP'd guys. Let's be honest here. There's always going to be OP'd gods, and then I mean, there's any game, especially any kind of game where you utilize a team. There's going to be the OP character or the OP build that makes, like, I remember when we were there was like the million HP Hercules.
Doesn't that in a way kind of maybe keep new players interested, because by having these new strong characters, you're incentivized to play those new characters. Whereas if they're really weak and lame and not powerful, then nobody will play them.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, yes, but the thing, I'm coming more at the angle of the constant need to, like, tweak.
Yeah.
That kind of. Okay, here's the pantheons for Smite. You have the Arthurian. You have the Chinese. You have the Celtic. You have the Egyptian, the Greek, the Great Old Ones, which is Cthulhu, Hindu, Japanese, Mayan, Norse, Polynesian, Roman, Slavic, Voodoo, and Yoruba. I'm not exactly sure what Yoruba is. Ruler of the heavens and goddess of the rivers. So I'm like, I mean, that's the two gods they have. But anyways, but I think it's cool when you have crossovers from existing properties. Yes, you're not going to have the actual characters in there. They're just going to be like limited time skins. Anything, when you have a very popular game and you put limited time on some kind of cosmetic, people go apeshit for that stuff because they're like, I mean, I don't really like this character, but I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I might, drop some money just so I can have that skin, just in that off chance that maybe I'm playing Assault in Smite and they do the random assignment of gods so that I can have that skin. So instead of having Osiris, I have Leonardo. Now,
but you want them all, don't you? Because they're all awesome.
Oh God, it's Pokemon all over again. Which, by the way, Pokemon Go is partnering with Grubhub for an upcoming event, and you could get an exclusive, a very rare Pokemon to catch during that event. Don't
you know? You got to catch them all.
Got to catch them all. Also, speaking of Pokemon, there is another, I guess, series, anime, whatever out there called Digimon. And apparently there was a new Digimon supposed to be scheduled for this year. It has unfortunately been pushed back to 2021. So.
Oh, you mean the Pokemon, which I've only ever played Pokemon Go for like a hot minute?
No, I'm talking about Digimon.
Oh, Digimon. I don't know anything about Digimon either.
It's basically Pokemon, but it's kind of like, it's kind of more like, it's like Pokemon meets,
Are those the ones like you have to raise or something and take care of, or am I thinking of something totally different?
I think it's like Pokemon meets Monster Rancher, which, by the way, Monster Rancher, if you never played the game, was awesome back in the day, where these historical discs, which were literally CDs, DVDs, and game discs, would unlock hidden monsters.
What was the one where like you had like the actual like individual game device and you'd raise your characters on those?
Tamagotchis?
I don't know. Is that what they were? I never played it, but I know.
It was like a little keychain thing, and you
Yeah.
had to, Tamagotchi.
Yep.
There was another brand, I don't know, but Tamagotchi was the big one.
Never played them. I knew they were a thing because I saw people play them all the time.
But speaking of Pokemons, there were 2 very rare Charizard cards which were sold, and I guess like the past 2 weeks. One was sold at auction for a whopping $183,000, and the individual who paid that much, which actually that is what they that's auctions. Okay. That is your bid, but it turns out there's like a bunch of other money behind the scenes for like a bunch of other crap. So really it turned into like a $200,000 transaction. So that was during auction. But the ironic thing is that at the same time, an individual, okay, first of all, the person who won at auction is a rapper by the name of Logic. So it's a very well-known, celebrity. And then the other was also purchased. This one was purchased by a private collector, and I really hate calling this individual a celebrity. I'll just say YouTube personality, and that, of course, is Logan Paul. He bought his from a private collector for $150,000.
Or you could just have purchased the T-Rex stand for only $31.8 million.
The what now?
So a T-Rex went for auction up at Christie's, and it sold for
like an actual Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh no, it's the actual skeleton. Yes.
No, right. I was thinking there's no T-Rex Pokemon as far as I can remember, because my son is
going to be now.
My son is okay. My son likes his involvement with Pokemon is kind of like my involvement with a ton of the card games outside of Magic the Gathering and L5R, which is Legends of the Five Rings, and that is that I like the cool art. I didn't actually really play any of those games, and my son has been getting Pokemon cards because he watches Pokemon movies and he's watched a couple of the shows and he's collected some of the books, so he likes the look of the cards, but he doesn't understand the first thing about the actual game.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, as I've stated before, I actually wrote up an article. If you play the Pokemon PC game, it is so fucking complicated. And I'm sure that the actual card game is as complicated, but if I were to play, if myself or my son were to play either the Pokemon computer game or Legends of Runeterra, we would jump at the opportunity to play Legends of Runeterra because you don't have to read a fucking novel to understand the full scope of what a card can do. Speaking of Legend of Runeterra just did do a huge content release, I think in the past day or so, and that content release is called Monuments of Power. They have added a bunch of new cards. They've, of course, every single patch for any game out there, you're going to see a bunch of the what's it called? When they change up the stats. I'm totally blanking.
The balance, tweak, nerf.
Basically, they're doing game balancing stuff. So of
game
course,
balancing, everyone.
You're of course they're messing around with some of the cards, which is what happens every single time. But you're also introducing a bunch new champions, which of course are your main characters. New boards, new guardians, which are the little monster guys that kind of just sit there and cheer you on to victory. And of course, it's just, it's the exact, what I was saying, you got that exclusivity of, look at this little guy who just sits there and feels your pain or is excited when you do good. and then of course the card backs and whatnot. Once again, all cosmetic. But the big thing is
But they look so pretty.
They've introduced a new mechanic totally, and it's called monuments, which of course, that's why they named it Monuments of Power. Is it Yeah, Monuments of Power. Monuments actually, there's a monument or a landmark for each of the different regions, and each one give you a different effect depending on your deck build. The one that I've used the most is the Star Spring. No, it's not the Star Spring. Where the hell is it? Well, anyways, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I'll tell you exactly what it does, and that is that at the end of every single turn, it will heal all of your damaged heroes 1 point, and if you heal all your players for a combined total of 22 or above, you automatically win the game.
That's actually kind of cool.
Which that's the first time that I've really seen that mechanic outside of a champion who I loathe, because there's a way to basically win the game almost immediately if you get the right card combo. But then again, any card game, if you get the right card combo, you're going to destroy everyone. The old school combo that a lot of original Magic the Gathering gurus utilized was the card Lich and then Mirror Image.
Oh, yeah.
Lich would drop you to 0 hit points, but you could not die as long as the Lich was out there. And then, of course, Mirror Image swaps your HP with your opponent's HP. So you literally would go kill them, which, of course, that was banned really fast.
I do find it cool. So on the Runeterra website, where it's talking about the patch, where it gives you the details, not just what they changed for the cards, but the rationale behind it.
Yes.
Which I find fascinating.
Yes, and it's, they actually, if you go to the website, they'll give you the breakdown, but also in-game, they have the ability to show you that breakdown as well, which I really enjoy because, sometimes maybe I miss that, but there's, basically, even if it's not a huge release, if there has been an update, you could click on it and you could see that they've fudged some numbers around to increase the value of the card, the health, or decrease the attack, or increase the cost, or maybe reword something. But they give you an explanation. It's not just like, what was a 2/2 is now a 3/1. Live with that.
Good luck.
Deal with that. Yes.
And you'll be happy when you do it.
Yeah. If you want to keep playing this game, you're going to be happy with whatever the hell we give you. All right, Zealeus, do you have any topics, or do you want me just to keep going?
I'm fascinated by this website now.
What, Luke?
No, don't get me into Legends of Runeterra, damn it. No.
Oh, funny thing, because of this huge release, the previous.
Did you start playing again?
Huh? Oh, I haven't stopped playing. My son is the one who's my son Brody is the one who's been putting a lot more time of Legends of Runeterra than I have. And I've actually.
You know what they need? They need it on the Switch.
Okay, first of all, no, because I need to keep it just to one platform. I know that I can already get it on my tablet or my phone, and I refuse to do that because I know that I would have no life. I'm
not seeing a problem here, sir.
No, I mean with the brand new big release, the competitive season has ended, and I did not play a single competitive match, or ranked match, I should say. So I was like, actually, you know what? I probably played one. So I got congratulations for participating in last season. You gained this, and basically there's a themed avatar image, and the higher up ranking you get, the better looking one it is. So if you're a diamond ranking, basically your master ranking, you get a really cool looking image. The image looks the same. It's just the coloring and whatnot. So if you have, because I only played one match, the lowest ranking or tier is iron. So, do I really want to show everyone my iron image?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at me. I'm awesome. I have iron.
Well, I think I finally missed, like, intentionally the first Overwatch competition season in probably like 10 seasons.
Mm.
I haven't played Overwatch in a while.
I've, to be honest with you, I haven't even tuned in to Overwatch, the Pro League, because it's basic. I mean, it's falling all over itself.
Well, I also got tuned into Hades. Definitely took over my life,
God.
and now Xenosaga or Xenoblade is
Have you beaten Hades yet?
No. I don't know if I'm going to. Not gonna lie.
Boo!
I enjoyed from a roguelike game. I was good with it. It's really the first roguelike I've actually played over and over, but I can only take so much repetition.
Okay, well, it's not really. I guess it kind of is, but it isn't. What's the boss that you get stuck at?
I think I made it to the bull and his shield friend like twice.
Ah, yes, the Minotaur and Theseus.
Yeah, I made it there like twice. So I also don't know how many runs I've actually made in the game. I don't know if there's a way to actually see the
There
number of
is, but you have to buy the upgrade. It's like a viewing pool that you can add to your room.
Oh, interesting.
You add that, and it'll tell you how many attempts you've done, as well as how many monsters you've killed overall.
But that's just something you purchase with the gems.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. I may have to look into that just to see. I'd be curious. I don't know.
Yep. So, but anyways, yes, Zealeus.
I would say the problem is now that I haven't played for a week or two, like I'm worried if I jump back in, I'll have forgotten some of those attack patterns anyways.
That's why every single time you pick up the weapon, you could beat the crap out of Skelly to try to kind of just, I guess, learn the bike again.
Reacclimate yourself.
Exactly, there it is. Reacclimate yourself to
pummel the evil things coming out.
Yes. And I will. To be honest with you, I haven't actually played Hades in a while, and it's not that I don't want to. It's just my kids have been playing Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, and they keep stopping like mid mission, and so like, but we ran out of time. We want to keep playing, and so I can't. I'm finally to the point where I told the kids, look, here's the deal. If y'all haven't played in the last like 48 hours, I'm going to turn off that game and I'm going to play some of my games on the Switch because, gosh darn it, I'm not going to just sit around on my hands. Speaking of which, though, I have been playing a lot of No Man's Sky.
Oh.
Which it's literally, it's still just a lot of mining.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I did pick up, now, of course, I did beat the Solitaire Conspiracy, which, of course, I need to write up a review for that, so be on the lookout for that. But I also purchased a couple of additional games on Steam. Damn you, Steam. One of them being a game called Epistory, Typing Chronicles. Now, of course, I'm always a little bit hesitant when it comes to trying to combine typing with gameplay, but holy shit, like I got locked in to this game because there's an RPG element to it, and you have to be like, basically it's a story that kind of unroute. First of all, I love the art style. As you unlock new areas, it's like pages from a book that kind of unfold and then kind of just become kind of like a picture book, where like trees start sprouting out and stuff. And then when you see enemies, they have words above them. You got to type them out. Sure. Thankfully, you can make mistakes. Holy shit. If you couldn't make a mistake, I'd be dead like a billion times over. But you, as you progress through the game, you gain additional abilities. And of course, some of the monsters require specific abilities to defeat them, like fire, ice, and electricity.
Fire, wind, ice.
Well, those are the... Oh, crap. I freeze Zealeus again.
No, you haven't done that in a while.
I know. I got you back, though. There we go.
I was worried. I was petrified.
Oh Lord. But anyways, so yeah, all of a sudden I lost like a couple hours to that game because I became super duper competitive. I was like, especially if I lost, I'd be like, oh hell no, I know I'm a good enough typer to do this. So I mean, I got locked in, and yeah, I actually really enjoyed that experience a lot more than I think I would have.
I could see that.
So I played that, and then I played another game, which unfortunately has gone the exact same way as another game, and that is 3/4 of the game I was able to complete, and now it crashes every single time at the end of a scene. And I just restarted my computer and cleared out
the cache and the cookies.
Yeah,
and the
exactly.
crumbles.
And I'm going to try it again after this show to see if I can get it back, because I was actually doing a playthrough of it. So it's kind of annoying that, yeah.
Well, that's kind of crappy.
Yeah. The name of that game is
I'd be very
The Low
unhappy
Road.
with that.
It's called The Low Road. It's a very interesting game, very confusing, where you're like an agent, like a spy, but at the same time, it turns out that you also work at like a car dealership. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but anyways, yeah. So interesting stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, and of course, I picked up a game that I'm sure Zealeus should have already picked up, but he hasn't yet, and that, of course, is the latest Steam game that I haven't actually started playing, but I know that Zealeus is probably already doing that, and that is While True Learn. This game, there's a game out there called While True Learn.
Oh, okay.
And of course, this game is about you're a machine learning specialist who makes neural networks, but your cat seems to be better at it. Now you must solve puzzles to build a cat-to-human translation system. Who knows what else that cat is capable of? Earn a fortune, buy kick-ass cat outfits, and learn how machine learning really works.
It's just, you know what? I need to make my kids at school play this.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's actually a lot of fun games that, I mean, that wonderful phrase that I hate and I love at the same time, gamification.
Of education.
Of education. Sometimes they just throw it on there to look important, but there are some games. There are some like educational games that actually are beneficial to students. So that's just me. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I think at this time, I believe that we can kind of close it down. So I do want to once again remind you that if you want to join us for Extra Life, we're doing it on November the 7th, I think. It's a 24-hour game marathon that I will be participating in. I'll do all 24 hours. Zealeus will at some point join in on the awesomeness.
Well, the nice thing now is with the Switch is how portable it is to just literally, I mean, you know me, I've packed up my entire PC, haul that mofo over.
Yep.
I was thinking about that actually last weekend, like, wow, I could just bring over my Switch. And if I want to go really all in, I just take my monitor with me, which is easy peasy.
Yep.
So that would actually be nice. I just have to remember a charging cable.
For your Switch?
Which I guess you have one.
I've got one for the base and then one an extra one.
I just don't know how accessible, because sometimes people put it like in a way where it's not really accessible, not in its natural habitat.
Oh no, I've got the actual just the cord that I have in my bedroom just in case I want to game into the wee hours of the night.
Wee hours with the Wii.
The Switch, dude, not the Wii, the Switch.
Damn it!
All right,
I'm old time sakes.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's wrap this up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Altered Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you everything on our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Altered Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.